Hey everybody, welcome to Squad Pod Sports. We're bringing our thoughts on the latest games and sports news around the sports world, brought to you by the Sideline Sports Network. I'm Wyatt, of course, joined always by Vernon here. Not too much happened. I thought there was going to be a lot more news that was going to happen here than the past week or so, but we still got a lot to talk about as far as NFL, cap casualties, pickups. All the coaches got together, so we can kind of talk about that. And, the NFL meeting, some rules have been announced going into this new league year.
Controversial rule change.
Yeah, we've talked about it on the show before as well. So we'll be talking about that. Of course, the NBA hot and not list. Some NBA talk going into the playoffs here in the next couple weeks. It's exciting. And, of course, the bias bubble and the crazy sports stat fact of the podcast. Yep. Now, as far as NFL here, we got some drops and some pickups here. Former Chiefs wide receiver Demarcus Robinson signed a one-year deal with Vegas. A lot of people leaving the Chiefs, which is odd. A lot of people
leaving the Chiefs and a lot of people going to Las Vegas.
A lot of people going to Vegas and the Dolphins.
It's got me wanting to put a bet on Vegas to win the Super Bowl just because, just in case they have a LA Rams type of year where it's up. And I know we talked about it all year last year. Like, I don't know who this Rams team is. One week they could beat anybody. The next week they lose to nobody's. Like,
that sounds exactly like Vegas too.
It sounds like LA. Or LV, I guess now is what they are. LV. It sounds like LV. So I don't know. I feel like I don't know exactly what the odds for them are right now at the time of recording, but they're only going to go up the more free agency goes, So
yeah, they're picking up some weapons on defense there. They got one of the best weapons in the NFL with Devontae Adams there. So, and I mean they already had like a decent wide receiver, and they have one of the top tight ends in the league as well. So yeah, I mean Vegas is set up. It's just, how's it going to go? Josh McDaniels, new head coach there. What's going to happen? Usually it takes about a year or so to get settled with like a new coaching staff and everything. So who knows? Maybe they'll just hit the ground running. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, that's a major difference is this is going to be like a rookie coach. Even though he's not a rookie coach, it's like you said, it's a first year operation type of thing here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
It didn't work out really too well the last time.
But he was doing all that Spygate shit last time, So hopefully he doesn't do any of that. Have his other coaches filming practices and shit and getting caught. God damn it! But whatever. Good luck to Josh McDaniels and them Raiders. I would love to see success for them. But we talked about it. Like, I don't know how good of an idea it is to even have a football team in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and I mean we talk about how great the team is, but we also got to account for how they're in probably the best division in the NFL as of right now. Like with all the additions, like we wouldn't have been saying this last season or the season before, but now it's looking like it's the best division in football. The Broncos, Raiders, Chiefs, Chargers.
Yep,
it's crazy.
Yep, all teams that
it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
They're all vying for a playoff spot, so it is going to be very interesting to see if the Chiefs can hang on to that top spot, or if they're going to be, passed by one of these new usurpers coming through here,
Yeah, and I mean, speaking about the Chiefs, we got to talk about, the biggest news out of the week. They decided to trade one of the top. We talked about, Devontae Adams, the other, top receiver in the league, Tyreek Hill. They traded him to the Miami Dolphins.
To the worst
out of all teams.
Team possible for me, man. Like, I gotta worry about this dude twice a year now? What do you mean? Like, it's just Bill Belichick's like, oh, God.
Damn it.
Damn, I got a plan for
Hopefully,
him.
Hopefully, maybe we can get Gilly back.
No. Not unless we're paying him pennies. There's no way we're getting Gilly back. We gotta pay him nothing, pretty much, But, like, I don't know, man. I'm not happy about it. I know Kyrie, my son, he's not happy about it because he's a Chiefs fan. Yeah. Tyreek Hill's one of his favorite players. It's just it's disappointing because Tyreek Hill and Pat Mahomes were a good connection, and I don't want to see that like fall apart now, But
apparently they traded him for like 5 draft picks. Apparently. It was like a first, a second, 2 fourths, a sixth, and I think it was something else as well. But that's crazy.
Apparently,
Ty, like who'd have thought? Like,
it wasn't even going to happen.
I don't know what's going on
until the Devontae Adams deal went down, and they're like, "Oh man, there's no way we're going to be able to pay Tyreek Hill that." So we saw what happened.
Yeah.
Man. Man, it's
Yeah,
just
and
crazy.
speaking of that deal, they gave him a 4-year, 120 mil extension, including 72 mil guaranteed.
Yeah, which is crazy, man. But congrats to
Yeah,
Tyreek.
and
Hill. I
now
just hope that he
they
gets
may
shut
have one of the
down.
fastest offenses out here. You know, they got Jalen Waddle. They got that may not be fast, but they got a dope tight end. They locked down with Gesicki there. It seems like they're having now the only real question mark is Tua. They're giving them all the weapons to succeed
they
this
got
year.
rookie
Can he do
coach
it?
too, you know,
And a rookie coach.
They're in a division with the Bills, Patriots, so we'll see what happens.
Similar to we talk about the Raiders a little bit. I think the Raiders are better than the Dolphins, though. In my opinion, just because I believe in Derek Carr more than I would Tua at this point.
Too. Right.
But it's similar situation in a way, except you don't really got to worry about the Jets.
Yeah, Jets are the problem. Dolphins really shouldn't be a problem, but they're gonna be. They're gonna give me scares. The Dolphins' record over the last 10 games is like 8-2 against us. Like, they have been dominating us. They're like 4-1 over the last 5.
Really?
They're dominating us lately. And motherfuckers wonder why I hate the Dolphins so much. Like, they are the team that seems to always get us. I just don't understand it, you know? So I really hope this year we can take care of them. It's becoming kind of the opposite for me, where I'm like, I just want to beat the Dolphins.
I want to know, I never really asked myself this because you always talk about it. Is the rivalry that heated on the Dolphins side, or is it only on the Patriots side?
I don't know. I don't even think it's even that heated on
the Patriots side. Or is it just a you thing?
I think it's a me thing. Like, because I don't even see the other Patriots fans talking about hating the Dolphins this much. I think it's just ingrained over me over years from being younger and just seeing my team do so well. And, like, I even remember going back to the, 23-game or 25-game winning streak they had after the undefeated season. The Dolphins were the team to snap that, I think.
I just assumed that, because you talked about it, there was some sort of rivalry, and I just never paid attention to it or looked into it, but no. I was just wondering. It's just you think of Philly and Dallas, they hate each other.
Everybody knows
their fan bases. Yeah, so it's I didn't know if it was the same way with the Patriots in Miami or not.
No, it's personal with me.
It's personal.
It's personal.
It's not business. It's personal.
Yeah.
And while we can stay on the Dolphins here, they released wide receiver Allen Hurns after that pickup. Not only that, but because he failed a physical apparently.
Interesting.
And they also released veteran offensive lineman Jesse Davis.
Okay.
As well, he started 72 games for him over the past 5.
Cap.
They got to clear some cap. Get some of that money.
They're like, man, we got to pay this dude.
So we'll see what happens with them. And we'll talk, and we can stay on the Chiefs as well. They went and signed a wide receiver after the Tyreek trade. They ended up picking up Marquez ValdesScantling.
Good pickup for him.
They signed him to a 3-year, $30 million deal, up to $36 million guaranteed.
It's surprising that he left Green Bay, but if they were giving him a lot of money, that makes more sense, you know. But it is surprising to me that he even left Green Bay in the first place.
Apparently, rumors are they're still searching though for another big wide receiver.
Who, the Chiefs?
They're trying to see either via trade. Yeah, I keep seeing that. The Chiefs are looking for someone via trade.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. What's going on with these Chiefs?
They're
and what's going on with these Packers too? They're losing they lost Devontae and now they lost Scantling. They got Lazard still. They just re-signed Cobb, but Green Bay is looking pretty. Other than their running back.
I feel the Chiefs are desperately trying to stay atop the AFC West there, where they're trying to make moves to assure that they're not going to take too much of a blow here with the free agents that they are losing this offseason.
Yeah,
that's what I think the Packers are kind of just feeling the repercussions of 3 straight NFC championships and building teams to do that, you know. So it is what it is. You're just trying to continue.
Everybody.
It's the same with what happened to the Patriots the last 3 years.
Yeah, maybe because we still got a long off season still, so maybe they make some these teams can still make moves via trade or do the draft. Who knows?
Yeah.
But these Packers, they could look vast. They could look a little different in these past couple years.
They could, and the thing is, the good season isn't as guaranteed. It doesn't feel as guaranteed as it has in the past.
Exactly. That's the perfect way to describe it.
The 10-win, 11-win season doesn't feel as guaranteed necessarily. It feels possible, but not as guaranteed.
Yeah. yeah, next up in the news here, the Saints re-signed QB Trevor Siemian as a backup. And with that, I mean, we talked about, Jameis Winston got the starting job here in New Orleans going forward, it seems. We also got the news that, what's his name? The other backup, Taysom Hill, is now going pretty much back to tight end at this point.
So the quarterback experiment's over. Sean Payton's gone. This dude is just a tight end now. He's a high-paid tight end.
Yeah, Taysom Hill is going back to the tight end role, which actually, because they had that goofy ass contract that he signed, he's like, it's his like salary and stuff switches over to being in tight end somehow. Because they had like a weird like QB and tight end thing in his contract, where now if he's going back to a tight end position, he gets like this salary and these like incentives or whatever.
Okay.
It's weird.
Okay, so this was built into the contract. Like, okay.
Yeah, it was, his contract was built with this in mind, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, the QB experiment is over with Taysom Hill at this point, it seems.
Good.
And it's Jameis time.
It's Jameis time
in New Orleans. So we'll see how that plays out. It looked promising, with Sean Payton at least.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Jameis still has it. He's still got a lot of good football left in him. So I'm very interested to see what happens with New Orleans this year. It's going to be a tough fight in that NFC South.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the Chiefs signed running back Ronald Jones to a 1-year deal up to $5 million, stolen from the Bucks.
Yep, nice. That's a good pickup. A 1-year deal.
Figure out some of the Bucks' secrets.
Yeah, maybe they're just trying to figure out how to field a team right now because they're losing pieces left and right.
That's true. Jaguars O-lineman Brandon Linder has announced his retirement from the NFL at 30 years old. Not even that old, man. He said, "I'm done. I don't want to play in the NFL. Jaguars ruined this for me.
Jaguars made me not even like football no more."
Just killed it. Going from one bad team to another, Hard Knocks is going to be focusing on the Detroit Lions.
I heard
this summer.
It's terrible. Like, I want to watch a Hard Knocks that's going to be entertaining. I know it's going to be entertaining because it's football regardless, but I just don't want to see...
It'll be biting kneecaps
a terrible
Hard Knocks this year.
I don't want to see the Lions on Hard Knocks. I want to see the Packers on Hard Knocks or the Chiefs on Hard Knocks or the Ravens or, like, I want to see a good team, like something interesting, the Lions.
Yeah.
This is why you're not good. See, I guess it's like, this is why good teams don't do it, because they're like, to stay focused on football. This is why the Lions and the Jets and them all fuck around because they're doing TV shows in the summer and they're
Colts did it in the middle of the season.
Colts doing
this past season.
Damn, mini camp in the middle, or a damn TV show in the middle of the season. What are you doing? Focus on football.
You wonder why he didn't make the playoffs.
No wonder why.
Look at you. And as of today, the NFL announced at the committee that they are going to review league and club policies in light of ongoing concerns over lack of diversity in hiring, and that they are going to have to hire at least one minority on like the assistant coaching staff, or a minority or a female assistant coach, somebody on their staff. They're required to at least have one, I believe. So we'll see how that goes going forward. And they also passed a measure where they have to wait until after the draft to, sign, to steal assistant and league officials from other teams, apparently.
Really? So no more like pre-Super Bowl signings?
Yeah, you can't be doing like they passed that apparently.
Interesting. So that's going to change a lot of things as far as the recruitment process going forward with things like that, because
they're going to have to wait, and then they'll be able to like let teams that like other teams interview their employees and such. Yeah.
Right. Because I'm used to teams announcing, he's going to be leaving after, depending on their Super Bowl run, blah blah blah, and all this, and just so now it's going to be even after the draft until they can. Yeah. Interesting. That changes a lot.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Because a team could go into a year. I'm sorry. A team could go into a year expecting to have this guy at offensive coordinator, but the whole way through the draft, and then you lose him, and you got to find a new offensive coordinator. Like, that's interesting. That's going to change the dynamics of some things there. That's just very interesting to me. I didn't see that, so I didn't really have time.
Yeah,
to
I
think
mean
about
that was the report that I saw. So I mean, I'm sure there's going to be more details of it, going forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. And the other rule that was announced is they changed the overtime rules for the playoffs, not the regular season, but now both teams are going to have a chance regardless in overtime, in the postseason here, which is going to be
I disagree with
pretty
it,
interesting.
but it is what it is. I guess the squeaky wheel got the grease in the end of this, I guess, because people just bitch and moan and like, oh, they should about.
And it's interesting because the two teams that made the proposal for this was Indy and Philly. It wasn't even like a team that was like
it wasn't even
overtime
like Buffalo or what I mean, like anything like that. Like it's
there's like yeah, we think they should do this.
No, I don't agree with it because I just think that it was fine the way it was. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just an old head. So, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and I mean that just makes like, will they go for two? Like the first team that go for two every time just to make sure, or I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I feel like you're going to want to go second in that case, like every time,
because now it changes things where if you score second, you can go for two and just win the game right there instead of giving the ball back. Like, it just changes so many things. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like change. I don't like change.
Don't do it. It's gonna be weird. And apparently they took a close look into the taunting penalties, and they're just like, no, everything's cool. We like it the way it is. They only thought that they missed I think it was 2 or 3 penalties the whole season. Apparently they sat down and reviewed all of them.
How many did they go overboard on?
That I did not see. They neglected to mention that one.
Of course. Ridiculous.
They just talked about the ones they missed.
All these rules.
But they thought that they were all fair, apparently, from what they were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the one they said, it's funny because the one that they said that they missed was the Tyreek one here in the playoffs, whenever he did the deuces again.
Yeah.
And they're like, how did you miss that? How would that count as a miss? Because I feel like everybody saw that. Like, that was wide open. That was blatant.
Saw it, but they didn't throw the flag. I remember people talking about it. Like, how did they not throw a taunting on that? That's why the rule was created.
And that was one of the ones they said they should have thrown a flag on.
Yeah, that's why we made the rule, because Tyreek Hill threw his peace sign, and then we didn't throw the flag when he threw the peace sign. So like we messed up on that one.
We messed up. Sorry about that.
Now,
we'll get better next year.
I wanted them to find him as many times as possible on them taunting penalties because he's in Miami, so that's fine. He's the enemy now.
And, I mean, I'm sure we're going to be getting a lot more ridiculous taunting calls here going forward, unless, these players are just like, all right, I guess we'll conform to it. I get, because you're going to hurt your team, I guess, if you try.
Man, we saw a dude in street clothes in the end zone celebrating a touchdown during the Super Bowl. I don't think anything's going to change with these penalties.
That's true. This dude wearing flip-flops out here at the Super Bowl.
This guy out here. Yeah.
Wearing slides.
Who are you? Who is this guy? Like, get out of here. Who is this
dude?
Just ridiculous. Like, even if
that's true.
Even if you are a player, like, get the hell, stay on the sidelines, man. It's just ridiculous. So I think people are gonna just make mistakes like Will Smith out of emotion mid-game and just do something where they're like, they throw the deuces up or just like flex or just there's gonna be
or smack the shit out of somebody.
Yeah. Walk up to Tom Brady and smack the shit out of him, like, just, oh my god.
We've seen it happen in the NFL before.
We have.
But another mandate that was actually passed at the owners' meeting was for all O linemen, tight ends, defensive linemen, and linebackers to wear guardian cap helmet shells from the beginning of training camp until the second preseason game. And pretty much what this is, I'll send you the picture of it then. It's pretty much this huge, like, white foam pad helmet that goes over their regular helmet.
Interesting.
Yeah, and apparently they're requiring them wearing it, and that's the goal was to reduce avoidable head contact during training camp and preseason. And
so they're gonna be wearing that in preseason games.
Yeah, they said it's up until the second preseason game. It says beginning of training camp until the second preseason game. My guess is they're going to be wearing in preseason games, which is going to be interesting.
This reminds me of that South Park episode where they're all wearing those pink helmets, and they're like just trying to keep them kids
Once
safe.
you see the picture of it, you're gonna lose it because it looks ridiculous. It looks like they're wearing like a white beanie, like over top of their helmet. It's so weird.
But
I guess it's just to avoid head injuries and concussions, going into the season. And apparently Roger Goodell said at this meeting that even though we added an extra game this season, all injuries and injuries in general, but concussions were down, according to,
what's his name? Goodell.
Roger Goodell. Yeah.
Okay.
And who knows where he's getting his information from. But apparently that's what he's saying. It's down from previous years.
Very interesting. I mean, it's good data. I don't know where it's coming from, but I mean, it's like the Redskins
I don't know where he's getting the data from.
It's like the Commanders doing their own internal investigations into all that.
And then Roger had this like, wait a minute, you guys can't be investigating yourselves.
Investigate yourself.
It doesn't work like that.
Like, where are you getting those numbers at from, Roger? Tell us that.
Yeah, I want to see the numbers.
Where are the numbers coming from?
Speaking of big numbers, the Bills reached an agreement between New York State and the Erie County for a $1.4 billion new stadium in Orchard Park.
Yep. Apparently,
New York State is going to be paying $600 million. The NFL and the Bills are going to contribute $550 million, and Erie County is going to contribute $250 million.
Damn! So the Bills get a new stadium, and they're not even the ones paying the most.
Yeah, ain't that some shit?
That's crazy.
It's New York State that's doing it.
It's bringing in a lot of jobs. Like, there's a lot of reasons for everything there, But that's interesting. I think I saw it's going to be done by 2026.
Yeah, I believe so. And it's weird because now we're seeing a lot of this because like Vegas did it. The Rams built their stadium here. The Bears are looking to build a new stadium. It seemed. I mean, the link was built a while ago, but it's a relatively newer stadium.
Yeah, same with even Foxborough. It was built like late '90s.
And you guys are adding a new addition onto that here. I believe we talked about that before.
Yep.
So it seems like either these teams are either upgrading their facilities or building whole new stadiums here. And what's interesting, they didn't go with a dome. They're keeping it open for the Bills, so they want that weather.
I thought they were going to end up going with some type of dome to try to host the Super Bowl, but they're trying to keep that element of the weather, so makes sense.
Yeah.
Keep it cold in Buffalo.
It does make sense. Yeah, they love their weather.
Mm-hmm.
The Colts hire former Panthers, Broncos, and Bears head coach John Fox as a senior defensive assistant.
Okay.
That's a pretty good signing, I thought. Cardinals are expected to sign former Giants guard Will Hernandez. So that Cardinals picking up some decent players here. Giants losing players. I haven't seen like one signing to the Giants at all.
They just
lose
free
agency.
Pieces. Is there even anybody driving that ship? Like, I don't understand what's going on.
They just gonna be a defunct team. They just a win. You just get a free win this week.
This week.
It's a bye week. Steelers signed former Eagles linebacker, defensive end Jannard Avery on a 1-year deal.
Okay.
Trayton go across the state.
Bolstering up that defense a little bit there.
Safety Logan Ryan has signed a 1-year deal with the Bucks.
Oh, interesting. Teaming back up with Tom Brady, huh?
Tom Brady.
I hate hearing about former Patriots going to the Buccaneers, but it is what it is,
I mean, it seems like everybody that was on the Bucks are deciding to come back at this point because of Tom. But we all know as soon as Tom leaves, the Bucks may be in turmoil.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Logan Ryan's the dude that caught Tom Brady's last pass as a Patriot. The interception.
Was it?
On the Titans.
We have to look that up.
I'm pretty sure he is, but I could picture it like it was yesterday, man. I'll never forget that.
I mean, sticking on the Bucks, apparently Gronk's not sure if he's coming back or not. He's still mulling retirement or if he's coming back.
I have the funniest TikTok. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I'll send you this TikTok afterwards. It's Gronk posted it, and it deals with his free agency. I'll send it to you, bro.
Really?
It's hilarious.
Yeah, the last thing I saw is he was still like, if he comes back, he's going to play for the Bucks, but like he's just kind of weighing whether he wants to play or not still.
Yeah.
Unless the thing he announced that he's playing.
It's just funny, man. He didn't announce that he's playing or not. Like, it's just funny.
Do you see that video of Tom Brady working out with Jules?
Nah.
Yeah, apparently there's a video of him working out with Edelman.
Edelman making a comeback, eh?
Going to them Bucks?
No, no, stay with the Patriots. Come
Edelman
on,
gonna go to them Bucks?
Oh my God, that would make me so bad.
Free agent center Ethan Pokic has agreed to terms with the Browns. Starting to see some players maybe go to them Browns here. Jarvis Landry rumored to link back to, maybe re-sign with the Browns. Who knows?
Now
Odell's been linked back to the Browns, so who knows?
Now all of a sudden people want to begin giving them credit, and I'm sticking with.
Nope.
Well, no, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Don't be fooled.
So, I ain't fooled.
Don't be fooled.
Can't fool me. Fool me once, shame on you.
Fool me twice.
Fool me twice.
Fool me once.
Can't fool me twice.
Can't be fooled again.
Can't be fooled again.
It just don't make sense, man.
And this is interesting news as well. Apparently, Cam Newton said he's talked to multiple teams and said that they're interested in signing him. But he wants to pick a team that he has the best chance of winning a championship, but also getting a fair chance to play. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know what team is set up for a chance to win a championship that's going to give Cam a decent chance to play.
I just don't know, man. I would love to see him in the league. I just don't know where he would be a starter right now. I would love to see him on a backup role just to be back in the league. And in case something happens, I just don't know what's going to happen with him, man.
Unless the Panthers are really just they really don't like Sam Darnold. And they're just like, all right, yeah, we'll start Cam over Sam. But I don't even see that happening.
Yeah, we'll see. But good luck to him,
Yeah. Saints, we talked about them a little bit ago. They're signing former Bears QB Andy Dalton to a one-year deal, $6 million. So they got Trevor Siemian, Andy Dalton, and Jameis Winston.
Interesting. I mean, I guess that makes sense because if you're going to move Taysom Hill to tight end, most teams do run with 3 quarterbacks, so it's not a bad quarterback room there.
Ravens announced they signed head coach John Harbaugh to a 3-year extension.
Okay.
Still no word on that Lamar extension, though.
Yeah, apparently it's on Lamar's end. He's just chilling. That Deshaun deal's got everything changed up a little bit as far as guaranteed money. So he's trying to make sure he's paid regardless of what injuries may happen in the future. And he's negotiating his own deal, so I'm pretty sure that he doesn't have an agent running this shit, so he's just trying to make sure that he gets it all. I don't know what's going on with it either. But apparently the Ravens are giving him offers, but
we
don't know what's going on yet.
No, no. Get me a top wide receiver. We'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk.
We'll talk. We've been with the coaches meeting here. We've been getting a lot of juicy content. Kyle Shanahan said that this is a quote from him, we brought Trey Lance here to be that starting QB eventually, and I think that will be sooner than later.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about they've been looking in the options to trade Jimmy, but he could see Jimmy being on the roster going into the season.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, but I think he'd be better off somewhere else, to be honest. I mean, it might be nice for them just to have him as a backup just in case, but I think he can, he's not the best quarterback. He's not a great quarterback, but he's better than he's one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the league. So I think he should start somewhere.
But it seems like they're just all right, we're not going to wait on trying to develop this kid. We might just throw him in here maybe this season.
Whether we can get you off our roster or not. Yeah,
maybe because at this point I feel like you can't afford to have him sit another year.
Yeah.
At this point. But hey, you never know. You got the Browns GM Andrew Berry talking about Baker Mayfield. Said, I wouldn't say we have a specific timetable for the QB room. Baker's a professional. He's under contract, and we have the cap flexibility whether he's on the roster or not. So at worst comes worst, maybe it seems like they're just willing to keep him on the roster.
Yeah. Hey.
Behind Deshaun Watson.
I mean, it's another situation like Jimmy,
Yeah. I would say it's a little worse than Jim. I feel like Jimmy's being cool with the situation. Baker, it's. I feel like he's willing to maybe sit out if he had to at this point. I would feel
He's like, look, I'm not trying to be
like
here.
Baker is just extremely unhappy with Cleveland.
I don't want to be here. Period. Let me leave.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, it's because you would think that Jimmy would be mad because I mean he's he's accomplished a lot. I feel.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't get a lot of the credit that maybe he's earned. But he took him to a Super Bowl. He's had a nice couple playoff runs with him, and he's had some injury history. But it's not like Baker, where he's just so mad. It seems he's ready to get out. Like he wants out.
He's
like
out.
Immediately.
He's tired of these commercials. He's out. He's not doing no more stupid commercials with that stadium.
I'm done.
I'm done, man. I'm done.
Here's the keys to the stadium. And then you got Jim Irsay from the Colts. And this is a quote about Carson Wentz and his decision. He said, "It's just for us. It was something that we had to move away from as a franchise. It was obvious. It was very obvious."
Mm-hmm.
And it was like after one season,
now
and they said they came to
this
decision like early January. Is like they knew immediately they were moving on.
We're gonna have to move on from Carson Wentz. I don't care how much of a buddy he is to you, Frank. We're gonna have to move on from him. Okay, like it's just ridiculous.
This guy stinks.
Hey, you told me this guy can throw the ball. He can't throw the ball. He can't. It's just ridiculous.
He's throwing the ball to the other team.
But it's crazy
you
how
lose
things
to Jacksonville.
Change. It's crazy.
Jacksonville.
It's crazy, man. And now he's on Washington. Good luck to you over there, man. I just don't see it being very good. It's gonna be like
and we talked about this was like you saving your career type year for Carson Wentz.
Exactly. It's either this or nothing, man. What you got left?
Yeah. And he also talked about Matt Ryan. This is a tiny quote here. He said, "Extremely grateful to the football gods, so to speak, where we are compared to where we were."
It's more shade on Carson, man. That's ridiculous. Not even a compliment to Matt Ryan, just more shade on Carson.
And apparently, like they were prepared to go all in on like one of the QBs, either like Russ or going in the draft, or they were looking at all options.
Yeah. Well, they're a team that had Peyton, man. They're willing to do whatever they need to get that prestigious quarterback. And Matt Ryan's not super prestigious, but he's a former MVP. He's been to the Super Bowl, so it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. But that's really all the NFL news that I have as of right now. There really wasn't a lot to talk about, just a couple of the big name stories, some rule changes and whatnot. But I'm sure I do have some more to share here in the bias bubble coming up. But hopefully there's some cool trades or some more free agent signings. You got some high-end free agents still out there that haven't made their decisions.
There's a ton, man. Maybe we can make a list next week, depending on what's left on the biggest free agents that are still left, and we can give you that. You know?
I mean, you got Tyrann Mathieu out there still. You got Stephon Gilmore out there. A couple, some other free agents. But it's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, you may not even see a decision soon, until like maybe after the draft or something.
Exactly. Who knows what's gonna happen here? But I think it'll be interesting for the next coming weeks. And the draft, we got the excitement of that coming up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can roll right into some NBA talk. It is very exciting. I think we're less than 10 games away.
Yep.
Then coming up to the playoffs here. First off, what's going on with your hot and not list this week?
So we got some teams that are pretty hot. We got some teams that are pretty not. Okay, and
very not.
And like I said, I've excluded already eliminated teams from the not list, so it's gonna be more familiar faces.
Like the ones that are eliminated from playoff contention. Right?
They're already eliminated from playoff contention, so I'm not even bothering putting them on the not list. But as far as the hot list, we have the best team in the NBA, the Phoenix Suns, on a 8-game winning streak. Man, 9-1 over the last.
Just got
10.
Chris Paul back.
It's ridiculous, man. It's just crazy to me that Devin Booker is the second best player on that team, and I'm glad Chris Paul is back and able to contribute the way that he really needs to and be the leader on that team that he has been. So it's going to be awesome seeing what Phoenix can do here. Not good for me in the West, but it is what it is, And then you got Memphis number 2 with a 5-game winning streak. They are 9-1 as well over the last 10. And
man,
I saw something about them being like 18-2 without Ja. Like they're better without Ja than they are with him in the lineup, and that's scary, man. That's like a team.
I was gonna say, I would say Memphis has probably been my biggest surprise of the season.
Yeah,
like they're sitting at number 2. We were expecting Golden State to be maybe up there, with the Suns being as the top teams in the league, not just in the West, but in the league.
Yep.
And now Golden State, they've been slipping hardcore as of lately.
They've been bad.
And Memphis they've been excelling at the right time.
Exactly, and they're holding it together too, and they're sitting there with a solid grip on number 2 in the West, so they're going to be nice going forward.
53-23 is amazing.
And then you have a team that's clawing, trying to be in that play-in tournament here with San Antonio, who's on a 4-game winning streak. They're 6-4 over the last 10. They just knocked my Lakers out of the play-in tournament. My Lakers are now sitting 1 game outside of the play-in tournament. But then the Knicks, I know, right? The Knicks, who are also sitting 1 game outside of the playoff tournament, actually 4 games, but 1 seed out of the play-in tournament in the East there. Yeah. They're on a 4-game winning streak, trying to do their best to get in there.
Just beat my Bulls last night.
They're doing what they can, man. They're doing everything they can. And then as far as the not list, number 1 team on the not list, the LA Clippers. Okay, they're terrible right now. 5-game losing streak, 2-8 over the last 10. I know they're sitting there in the 8th spot, but I'm really hoping that they can slide a little bit more there and end up falling out. I know we only have a handful of games left, but it's possible. It's possible. Just
they're getting some help back tonight, so we'll see. We'll talk about that after your hot and not list.
Okay, well
we'll talk about.
Well, they're streaking in the wrong direction right now, and I wanted to highlight that. Okay, and then we got Portland, who's on a 4-game losing streak. They're not really doing anything here. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're only
game out for the season,
right? But they're going in the wrong direction there. And then I got Utah, who was fighting for a top spot. For a while there. They're on a 4-game losing streak, 4-6 over the last 10 games.
They haven't looked right recently. They've been playing very sloppy ball.
They're sitting there at 5th, but they are on a losing streak right now, so they got to get it together and figure out what's going on there. Then, like you mentioned, I have Golden State actually on a 3-game losing streak. They're on my not list this week because if they're fighting for playoff seeding, I know they're number 3 in the West, but still, it's just you're sliding at the wrong time. You're 4-6 over the last 10 games. I had to put Golden State on here. And then, of course, even though it's only a 2-game losing streak, it became a 3-game losing streak as we were recording this. The Lakers are on my not list. Okay, 3-game losing streak. They are now 2-8 over the last 10 games. Like I said, we're sitting in 11th. Probably not even going to make the playoffs.
Not looking good.
Probably not even going to make the playoffs, man. They're going to be on the not list for the rest of the season. It's ridiculous. I just don't understand how it went so bad so fast. But LeBron's having a good season when he's on the court, But that's
he's
the
doing.
list.
He's fighting for his life out here.
He's fighting for his life out here. But that's the list for this week here.
All right, so we can roll right into some of the news, and I'll go into what I mentioned here before. Clippers, Paul George is returning tonight versus Utah.
Okay.
So they're getting some much-needed help back with Paul George, here at the end of the season. They're looking to make a playoff run, and in the other news with the Clippers, if they're able to make a play-in tournament or go forward, they're saying Kawhi could come back.
Interesting. So if they can, get them into the playoffs, they can have Kawhi and Paul George to kind of make a run and see what can happen.
Exactly. And they were saying if Paul George wasn't able to come back and they made it, it probably wasn't the case. They weren't going to bring Kawhi. But they're saying if they make the play-in tournament or that they can get past the play-in tournament with Paul George in there, Kawhi could come back for the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know, man. Him coming off an injury like that and not playing like a whole season just to come into the playoffs, that's going to be a lot for him.
That is a lot to ask, man, but
no matter who it is.
That's the Clippers. Let's see what they do.
That's the Clippers for you.
That's the Clippers for you.
Brooklyn Nets star Kyrie Irving has now officially been cleared to play home games in New York City.
Yep, for the last 8 games of the year or whatever. But now he's good to go. They
don't
going
into
the
worry playoffs, about it. Though.
Yeah, but they don't got to worry about it next year either. So they're going to be good going forward. And now Kyrie's probably going to sign a deal with them, and we'll see the dominoes fall there. But it's going to be KD and Kyrie.
Yep, that's what it's looking like here going forward there in Brooklyn. We mentioned Golden State a little bit. Golden State center James Wiseman has been ruled out for the rest of the season. He's rehabbing his right knee. They're saying they don't. I guess they don't expect him to be back for the playoffs. I don't see anywhere on here, so that's a big blow for them as well. Because James Wiseman's been was playing pretty decent for him.
That is a big blow. But you actually just reminded me there. And this was weeks old, but we have a note up here that I put for the bold predictions, even though they're not that, some of them aren't that bold. This one was from August 17th, 2021. It was, we will not see the LA Big Three versus the Nets Big Three and like the championship. And that came true weeks ago as soon as James Harden got traded, so plus both teams are fighting for their lives as far as playoffs are even concerned. So I'm glad that one came true. I mean, I'm not super glad, but like all the hype that it had surrounding it preseason, I was like, we're not going to even see this happen, so it don't even matter, And look, James Harden couldn't even make it through a whole season.
Yeah.
AD couldn't make it through
and now he's over there, and he's had a couple good games with the Sixers, but he's had a string of pretty bad games with them as of recently.
Yeah, so it's just consistent. It's the same thing going on with him. What's going on?
Yeah, and see if it carries into playoffs, because that seems like a habit as well. Just kind of either being hurt in the playoffs or he's just something's not right.
Yeah, but the Sixers are still only a game and a half out of first there.
Oh yeah. I mean it's a fight there in the East.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana Pacers center Miles Turner, out since mid-January with a left foot stress reaction, will miss the rest of the season. He's not going to be coming back.
Makes sense, especially with them eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah. And Celtics center Robert Williams has suffered a meniscus tear in his left knee and will miss several weeks. They expect him to be back in the playoffs at some point.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
It's not too bad, I guess.
That's just a blow to them, and they're doing great right now as far as climbing them ranks.
Yeah. But that's pretty much all the news I have here. We can kind of talk about the NBA playoffs here. I mean, it's going to be... I mean, at least the West is somewhat decided as far... I mean, maybe just a couple seeding positions there.
Yeah.
More towards, like, the end, like 7th and 8th and everything.
Pretty much
play-in tournament.
1 through 7, who's going to be in there.
Yeah. Whereas, like, the East, that 1 through 5 or 1 through 4, that's going to be switching up a little bit. But we can kind of take a look and like maybe make some predictions here. Take a look at some of the teams, that maybe can go make a title run this season going into the playoffs.
What do you think? Who do you? I mean, obviously the Bulls are your pick, but like, what do you think?
I don't think the Bulls are going to do it, man. I hope they would. But as of lately, the Bulls have not been impressing me. They're fighting just to beat, like the Knicks last night, and they were able to beat the Wizards tonight as we were recording this, but they haven't been playing well at all against some of these mid teams they were demolishing earlier in the season, and they're getting beat pretty handily by some of the best teams. So if they're able to get, like, I think the best matchup would against, like, going into the playoffs would probably be Boston, or I don't know, Miami. I would like to play one of those teams. If we play like Philly or like Milwaukee, we might get stomped out of that first round. It's probably not going to look good. But man, I would probably say Milwaukee. I would hate to say the Sixers. I just feel like the Sixers are going to crumble like always somehow, man. It's going to happen, I feel.
Yeah, I feel you on that, man.
But I think Milwaukee can make a nice run again, man. I'm not... I know that Celtics have been so hot lately, but I don't know. I don't see them going the distance again. I think Milwaukee can. They brought almost everybody back. They have that experience from last year. I think they can, realistically have a nice title run again.
Yeah,
back to back.
They're doing great this year as well. Sitting there at second in the East, so why not? So I completely agree with you. I feel like they're definitely good teams. But what do you think as far as out of the West?
Out of the West, man. Now the West, I feel like it's not as wide open or as the East is. I feel like out of the West, I mean, we got Memphis. I think my only choice out of the West is Phoenix. I think Phoenix is easily going to the finals again. Yeah. I don't see any of these teams beating them in 7 games as of right now. I think Memphis maybe give them the best series, but I don't know, man.
But exactly, I think Phoenix wins it overall. The Memphis-Phoenix Western Conference Finals would be amazing to see. We'll see what happens there. But I agree with you in the West. In the East, I'm going to throw a curveball at you, and I'm going to pick Brooklyn to come out of the East.
I was going to say that was going to be my dark horse coming out of the East, because even though they're a lower seed, when Kyrie and KD have been playing together, they've been hot, dude. Yeah. They've been blowing some teams out.
KD
so
I
can easily see the Nets doing something here in the postseason.
So I'm saying, man, he just dropped 41 tonight. So I could definitely see Brooklyn just turning it on, letting them get into playoffs, and just turning it on and running through teams and just getting.
I fully agree.
So I think Brooklyn Phoenix is the matchup we're gonna see.
If they play like Miami, I could see them definitely beating Miami in the first round. Exactly.
It'd be tougher beating Milwaukee, but I could see them beating Miami first round and then having to go through Chicago or Toronto or Cleveland, something like that, so it would have to be a little bit of an easier road for Brooklyn to get there if they could get through that first round.
Yeah, to be honest, I would, even though they're a lower seed like that, I would say either Milwaukee or Brooklyn coming out of the East there, man.
Yeah.
I would definitely agree with that, just because Boston's been hot. I don't know how far that's going to take them in the playoffs. They're going to cool off at some point. Something's going to happen.
Exactly.
Miami, they've been and even though they're the 1 seed as of right now, there's been a lot of drama. It seems like they've been going on some losing streaks, and then they get hot for a little bit, and then they lose for a little bit.
And then they fight.
I don't know. They fight. They Jimmy Butler's getting into it with the head coach with Spoelstra. So I don't know. And Philly, I don't know, man. Philly just finds some way to. I don't trust Philly at all. Joel Embiid he's a beast, but James Harden, I don't trust him in the playoffs. And then you got Tyrese Maxey, who's been playing really well, but he's super young. He doesn't have that playoff experience. I don't know, man. I don't know if you can rely on Danny Green, to carry you. I mean, they got Tobias Harris, I guess, still, but
I know you want to chip with this, but you can't count on Danny Green.
Can't. But yeah, I could see Brooklyn or Milwaukee coming out of there, and then out of the West, I think it's definitely going to be Phoenix. I'm more sure about the Western, unless something drastic happens. I'm more sure about the Western Conference than I am the Eastern.
Right. I think Phoenix will be running through squads, especially whoever they play in that first round. They're going to probably sweep them.
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe Memphis could go on some kind of miracle run. I just feel like they are a young team, so they may take a couple years to kind of build that up to get there. But you never know. Maybe they can go on some Bengals run.
Yeah.
Make a young team go into the finals.
Exactly. And I think
Ja gets a chip.
I could see
that'd
them
be crazy.
Matching up with them Western Conference Finals and giving them a good 7-game series. So it could go either way. That'll probably end up coming down to a coin flip.
Yeah. But I'm super excited here for the NBA playoffs. They're coming up here in a couple weeks. I'm sure we'll break it down a little bit more leading up to it, and then once they start as well. So we can go right into our bias bubbles here for the week.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got for us this week, man?
All right. So while we're talking about basketball, I'll talk about this sorry excuse for Basketball Association that has been the Los Angeles Lakers for this 2022 season. Okay? It's been terrible. It's been terrible all year. I've been just having to deal with this, and I'm at this point today, we are officially out of playoffs, so that's why I'm kind of reached my breaking point. LeBron ain't been playing the last 2 games. We got routed by the Mavs 128-110 tonight. It's just no AD out there. Russ is doing it all by himself and still shooting 5 for 27, and it's just 20 turnover. I can't. Frank Vogel, you're gonna lose your job. I'm sorry to say it. Thank you very much for the championship.
Can't do it.
But I can't do it. You're gone. You already know you're gone. That's why you don't even care no more on a 3-game losing streak. Oh
I caught on Twitter tonight, and the first like picture was a meme, and it was the score at like halftime.
Yeah.
And the Mavs were up on you by like 30 or something. And the picture below it was just a picture of Frank Vogel, just like he looked like he knew he was getting fired. He just looked so upset, like he was sad, like I'm getting fired. Like,
the show's over. Lake show's over for Frank Vogel. Sorry to say, but it's over. It's some more positive news. Kobe's estate reached a deal with Nike, so we're going to be getting more Nike Kobe products, which is awesome. Can't wait to see what kind of new shoes would be coming out, especially like tribute shoes, legacy. Like, hopefully they don't do crazy price gouging things, but like it would be really cool to see.
Don't let these scalpers get them or something like that, man.
Right. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my Lakers there. End on a positive note, and then. With the Patriots, Mr. Kraft is not happy. Okay? He's not happy. He said,
I saw that.
I'm a Patriots fan. Big time. First. More than anything.
Big time.
He's a big time Patriots fan. Hey, pal. And he poked him in the chest. He's like, hey, pal.
I'm a big Patriots fan.
I'm a Patriots fan. Big time. First. More than anything.
Big time.
It bothers me when we haven't been able to win a playoff game in the last 3 years. He said that's the quote, you know, and he's like, after my family.
This is what we're talking about. You're so spoiled from these past 20 years. You go 3 years.
Listen, it gets
You've made
worse.
The playoffs. You just haven't had a playoff win.
It gets worse. Listen. After my family, there's nothing more important to me than the New England Patriots and winning football games. That's my passion. So whatever I could do, hopefully in a small way to make that happen, I'm there. I'm not happy that we haven't won a playoff game in 3 years. I think about that a lot. And I empathize with him. I think about it a lot too, Robert. Mr. Kraft, I think about it all the time. How the prestigious Patriots.
He's like one sentence away from like, I wish I was younger so I could just put on the pads and go out and play myself. I care. I bleed blue and red, white, and blue. Not just for America, but for the New England Patriots.
The New England Patriots. And his son's in the background just clapping, you know what I mean? But, hey, I know it's spoiled Patriot stuff, but I feel his pain. 3 years without winning one playoff game? What do you mean? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So it is bothersome, but it's kind of, you know what's even more bothersome is the fact that I've become okay with it. You know what I mean? Because
it's been about 3 years since the Eagles have won a playoff game now.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
3 years.
Crazy.
It's just ridiculous. Okay, Mr. Kraft's not happy. I'm not happy. That's how it goes, you know. So
it's funny because you say the way you say Mr. Kraft, it sounds like Mr. Krabs. It's just every time you say Mr. Kraft, I think of Mr. Krabs.
He's money.
I care about New England and money. Money. New England Patriots, money.
The Krusty Krab and money. This is his Krusty Krab, okay? And so let the man do what he wants to do. He's got a young new wife. I think he just got married recently. Remarried. But, it is what it is. And then the only other New England Patriots thing I had here was we signed Jabril Peppers to a 1-year deal, safety. Like Alex was saying in the group chat, Swiss Army knife. And that's the perfect type of dude for Bill Belichick. He loves being able to plug and place a player wherever he needs him.
Use them in different ways, draw up certain schemes.
So if you could wear many hats in a New England defense, he's going to be using you all the time. So that's great. I hope he can stay healthy.
Oh, that's awesome. That is going to be a good pickup, especially like we were saying. If he can stay healthy, is going to be great because he was coming off the ACL tear, right?
Yeah,
he missed most of last season.
Mm-hmm. So that's why I think we only got him on a 1-year deal there.
Yeah, that's a good pickup though, man. That's going to work for you guys. It's going to be interesting to see what you guys do, through the draft leading up to this season and just any other pickups you guys get. Because you guys have been losing some players.
I know, too. Man. I know. But I think we're in a retool, so we're just trying to see what we can do to get Mac Jones as situated as possible.
The players you have been picking up and re-signing, though, have been decent, though. It's not like you've just been, picking up anybody.
Just to fill roster spots. We're still trying to compete.
Yeah, exactly. Now, as far as my news here, the Bulls, Zach LaVine signed a multi-year shoe deal with New Balance.
Ooh.
He said, New Balance is my shoe now.
Okay.
So he's got his own shoe now. He's wearing his own shoes out here on the court.
Nice.
Happy for him. He just got a big deal with them. Now he's looking to get a big deal with the Bulls this summer.
Hell yeah.
Because he's eligible for that max deal. So we'll see how that goes.
Nice.
And this the Chicago Bulls have 43 wins. They actually just got 44 tonight, and it's the first time since 2014 and 15 that they have 43 or more wins. Let's go making some progress here.
Positive times in Chicago.
With the tiebreakers that have happened, we have a tiebreaker over like the Cavs and the Raptors now. It's looking like we're locking in at least the fifth seed as of right now.
At least, right.
Going into the playoffs. At least, yeah. So that's all about. I don't want to get near that play-in game, man. I don't want to worry about no play-in.
Oh man, I'm trying to make the play-in tournament at this point.
But as far as Eagles, we re-signed free agent Derek Barnett to a 2-year deal. It was pretty cheap, so I don't mind bringing him back, and it's a rotational role.
Yeah.
But this dude, he commits so many penalties and like roughing passer, like jumping off sides. Like, bro, what are you doing? He's so antsy, it seems. Like he's
just aggressive. He's super aggro.
So it's like, I guess it's all right, bring him back on a cheap deal as a rotational piece.
Mm-hmm.
We also signed, this was one of the, other than Hassan Reddick, this is one of my favorite moves because we actually went out and got somebody. We got linebacker Kazir White from the Chargers,
nice.
who played very well for them.
Yeah.
So it seems like the Eagles are finally, working on the linebacker situation. Linebacker has been a position that the Eagles have really always ignored, kind of. They haven't really put a lot of attention to it. So,
well, that's a good pickup.
Nice to see them paying attention to that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he can play a big role for you guys.
Yeah, and that's what they're trying to do. I'm still interested to see what they do here as safety. Apparently, they're linked to Stephon Gilmore at corner still, and they're linked to Tyrann Mathieu. No word on Rodney McLeod. My guess is he's going to come back. That's my guess as far as safety.
Most likely, I can see that happening.
Yeah, and Jeffrey Lurie had his press conference here today, and he further committed to Jalen Hurts that they're like the franchise is focused on Jalen Hurts. So
now that all the quarterbacks are off the market,
yeah, don't worry about all that. That's just rumors. I've been telling you the whole time Jalen Hurts is our quarterback. Those are just rumors, okay? Howie said it. Nick Sirianni said it. I don't know why you guys keep saying that we did all these QBs. We want Jalen Hurts.
Reports coming out saying we were offering this and that, but it was just rumors, okay? Jalen Hurts.
It's just rumors. It's not true, okay?
He's our guy.
Apparently, Nick Sirianni had an interview and he said that Jalen's been working with like some trainers and QB coaches in like in California and shit. So, maybe working on reading some defenses, working on some better throws and stuff, just working on his game in general. It's good to see that he's putting in that extra work, get better going into year 3 for him. But some of the biggest news and the last news I have here, the Kelly green jerseys are officially coming back in 2023.
Hell yeah.
I am hype, man. Like they approved the second helmet rule last year, so we'll be getting like all new fresh fits coming 2023. Just like we talked about, Tampa Bay are getting like the creamsicle jerseys and stuff back.
So
the Eagles are bringing back the Kelly green
helmet.
Yeah,
I hope we do the same.
The old school helmets and stuff too, like the Kelly green with the old like gray wings on them.
I want to see this. Nice. I want to see this on the side of my New England Patriot helmet.
Yeah, that's why I wore this jersey. We bringing this back, hopefully.
Yeah.
And not only that, because that's coming in 2023 and 2022, we're bringing black helmets into the mix.
Nice.
For the second helmet rule, they wanted to do something this year, so every time we wear the black unis, we're wearing black helmets with them too.
Man,
so it's going to be
black.
all black. And that's going to look sick, man. I'm interested in seeing that.
Yeah.
But apparently in 2023, they're also going to try to keep the black uniforms as well with the Kelly green going back and forth. So they're going to have a couple different uniform combos.
Cool. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to see the Kelly green unis. But that's all the news I have here as far as Eagles. Not too much happening. Hopefully they get some dope signings here by the next time that we talk. But we can go right into the crazy sports stat fact of the podcast. And this one is about none other than the GOAT, Michael Jordan himself.
Oh, we got a Michael Jordan one.
We got a Michael Jordan crazy sports stat of the podcast. On March 22nd, 1986, Michael Jordan only scored 8 points against Cleveland.
What? 86?
Yeah. In 1986, and that was the only time that dude scored in single digits the rest of his career.
The only time.
Yeah. He scored 8 points against Cleveland in 1986, and it was the only time he didn't hit double digits in 1,100 games he played for the Bulls.
LeBron did it in the playoffs. Just saying.
I ain't going there. But I thought that was pretty crazy stat. This dude was like, never again.
Never
again. Never again.
He looked at the stat line after the game and he saw he had 8 points and he's like, and I took that personally.
It's like that. Like the Jimmy Butler gif or whatever. He's like looking at that paper. He's like, this can't be right.
No, he took it personal and he used it as motivation and he never scored in single digits again.
They left that out of the Last Dance documentary where he's like, wait a minute, 8 points? This can't be right. I know I got at least one other bucket in there. Give me a 10. But that's the show this week. Not a lot to talk about, but we were able to, we hit the playoffs a little bit. I'm sure we'll go a deeper dive into the playoffs and kind of go into the best teams going into the NBA playoffs. Hopefully there's going to be a lot more good news in the NFL. I wouldn't say cap casualties. I feel like at this point we're kind of over some of the cap casualties until we hit like training camp and, going into the actual season.
Right.
And the actual roster cuts. But I'm hoping we get some like maybe cool trades, some of these big free agent signings. We'll talk about some more of the free agency stuff next week. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to check out all the content across the channel here. Make sure to follow us at Squad Pod Sports on Twitter. We're almost at 1K. So any support is appreciated there. So I hope everybody enjoyed the show, and we'll see everybody next week.
Peace.
Wait a minute.
I've been fighting with your box. Your box has been resizing this entire time. Constantly.
Maybe some fucking ghost shit.